Alright, good evening ladies and gents, welcome back to Compound Interesting. In today's video I want to explain all the speculation and the updates of a new Bored Ape Yacht Club / Yuga Labs profile picture NFT collection. I also want to show you some gameplay from the new Dookie Dash game that they just dropped, and finally I want to kind of talk about the Sewer Pass, which is the NFT token which allows you to play the Dookie Dash, and whether I think that's undervalued considering what it's eventually going to transform into. So with all that said, let's get started. So first, if you didn't see my last video about Jimmy the Monkey, the trial of the Jimmy the Monkey, and all the hints and speculations there, might be a good precursor to this video, but if you don't, I'll leave it up there. But if you don't want to watch it, let's go on. So we know from what Bored Ape Yacht Club have released and what they've mentioned that these sewer passes are a dynamic NFT, meaning that they're going to transform over time, and there's different evo stages, and what evo obviously means evolution, so they're going to evolve over time, and there's going to be different mini games, and the first one being of course Dookie Dash, which I'll show you some gameplay of me playing, and yeah, I probably should be in FaZe Clan but there's going to be other mini games, and however well you do in the mini games, well, they've said for sure, however well you do in the Dookie Dash minigame, the better the energy source that you're going to receive, like the more energy that you're going to get. But what the hell is this energy source? So like I hinted, or like I speculated in the last video, it's been all but confirmed now. These energy sources are going to be able to be placed into these mecha robots, kind of like Iron Man, and power the mecha robots. So here's some Leonardo da Vinci style sketches of the mecha robots, and this was drawn by Gary the dog when he licked a psychedelic toad, and he says they're the future. So these are sketches, pretty much what has been confirmed. These are sketches of the mecha robots that the sewer passes are going to transform into. So is this a new profile picture collection? I think the biggest mystery, or the biggest unknown, is whether these are going to be like a standalone collection, like the mecha robots are. Like once you put the energy source into them, they're going to be their own kind of thing. But what I think is the more likely scenario is that these are mecha suits that you'll be able to put onto your ape or onto your dog, because you can see a little dog in the mecha suit on the right, and there is no ape on the one. There's no ape seen in the main mecha robot there, but you can see if you zoom in on Curtis the ape in the bottom left, we can see a little mecha robot's head hovering over his shoulder. So maybe this is some sort of NFT that will transform it into a suit that you can carry around with your ape at all times, and you can always jump into the suit whenever you need to go into battle. But why do they need these suits? What do they need fucking mecha robot machine gun rocket launchers for? They've mentioned that there's some sort of cosmic battle going on and we need to prepare an army, and the website is called MD versus MM. So we don't know what that is for certain, but maybe something along the lines of mecha dogs versus medieval monkeys, because we've seen medieval stuff before, and there's been this kind of interplay between apes versus monkeys on a lot of the teasers that they've dropped. So here is a medieval ape coming to give Curtis the ape the key that we talked about in the last video, and on that box you can see medieval monkeys versus medieval apes. So how do you know the difference between a monkey and an ape? Apes don't have tails and monkeys do have tails. So this isn't the first place that we've seen mecha robots. We saw them in the 10KTF universe. This was long before Yuga Labs acquired 10KTF. But we saw a mecha robot was created in order to fight the kaiju, the big massive dragon. And I went through all that in my 10KTF video if you want to find out more about that. But you can see it's pretty cool. It's a massive yoke. But I don't think there's anything inside it. I think it's just a standalone robot. So we'll have to see how it goes in the end. Okay, so now I'll show you a little bit of me playing the game, and then we'll go on a little bit of a speculation on whether or not buying a sewer pass at these prices is a good idea, or what my thoughts on the sewer passes is. Alright guys, I'm going to show you how the new BAYC, Bored Ape Yacht Club game, works. Dookie Dash. So we're basically going to be playing Temple Run in the sewers. We have to collect all the light up sewer objects, and that gives you points, and the longer you last, the more points you get. So I'll just show you how it works. So first I have to connect my wallet, MetaMask. So I've connected my wallet now. I have a sewer pass in here, so it knows that I'm eligible to play. Start now. And see, I claimed my sewer pass with my mutant, so that's why it comes up as that, which I think is also kind of cool. Validating a beautiful butthole. And then it kind of explains how to play the game. I've already done that, so I'm not going to show you that. And I'll put on this, well, there's sound as well, but I'll leave the sound off. So you have to click to smash through them, and you want to collect the gems. So I'll just show you how the game is. It's actually a pretty good game. It's actually kind of addictive. It's not like the next Call of Duty or anything, but it's actually, a fun enough game. Like, remember, I don't know if any of you guys played Temple Run back in the day, but that was super addictive. Oh, see, I hit off an obstacle and then got smashed into the wall there. That was a pretty pathetic run anyway. So 12,000. My best score is 45, and that was actually my friend playing, not even me. But I'll also show you the different. So the top scoring guy has 440,000 points. My best, like 10 times the amount of points that I got. And yeah, so you can see all the different apes. Like, I think it's kind of cool that the ape is tied to your wallet or whatever, or the sewer pass. So you can actually tell who some of these people are. Like, you might recognize them on Twitter. I'll also show you. You can see my rank. It goes all the way down to number 8,000. So not great. Out of 30,000 people, I suppose it's not terrible, but yeah, I could definitely do a little bit better. So let's close that, and I'll show you. Buy a power shard pack. I'll show you how to. That is for 2 8-coin. Double dash. So when I was dashing through the wood, that time is cut in half, so I can dash again quickly, or I can move, because sometimes if you're going at that dash speed, you have less time to react to stuff coming up. 15% bonus, and the rare items appear more often, so the light up stuff that we were trying to catch. And people who have the tier 4 pass, I think, get like a 50% bonus. Let's play again. Okay, so the best tips I have are, see the way I'm on the very edge of the tunnel? That means I can see what's coming up, because if I'm in the middle, I can't really see. You see what I mean? So stay on the edge of the map, and the other tip is to look as far down the tunnel as you can. So don't look at what you're doing in right in front of you. You want to look as far down the tunnel so you can see the obstacles coming up. And sometimes your mouse can go out of the game, and then you're frozen, so you just have to be careful that you're not pushing your mouse too hard. And the other tip, the last tip, there's probably other tips, but when you have to double dash to go through a barrier like this, do it as early as possible. See, I had to do it twice there. Do it hit the pole there, but do it as early as possible, so when you're on the other side, you have the most time to react, because if you're going really fast, you have less time to react to whatever's coming up. So not an amazing score, but I think it's good enough to show you what the game's like. Alright, so you've seen me playing the game, my crazy good skills, but did you see the little fragments that I was collecting during the game? There's speculation that, like, in your top run, so how it works is, it doesn't matter how many runs you do or how many times you try, all that matters is your top score, and your top score will determine the amount of energy you get, the amount of the energy source which Gary the dog is going to summon later on in the roadmap. But the little fragments I was collecting, maybe they determine what kind of mecha you get in the end. So everyone's going to obviously have a different collection of fragments because it's randomized. Okay, so what do I think about buying a sewer pass, playing the game, and trying to get in on the potential of getting a mecha robot in the future? Personally, I think most people don't really know what's going on. All the apes were airdropped, or had to claim one of these sewer passes. They're like, oh, this sewer pass is great, I get to play a game and get something that I don't even know what it is. So a lot of people paper handed it, didn't really care what it was, just like, okay, it's a bear market, here's an airdrop that I could sell for a couple of grand, I'm going to take that money. So I think most people haven't really dug much into the speculation and what these potentially could turn into. And once you realize that it's like kind of a mecha robot, kind of a new profile picture collection, or probably not a profile picture collection, but more of kind of like a 10k TF style clothes, like a robot skin that you can put on yourself. Maybe at some point these are going to have a run up when more information is released about particularly that, like that, what these actually are and what's going to happen next in the roadmap when the cosmic battle is going to happen. So personally, I think the risk to reward on the sewer passes is probably quite strong. That's obviously not financial advice. You're buying JPEGs online if you're buying it, so don't take that as financial advice. But the risk to reward seems intriguing, considering other side it's 100k. There's 100k other deeds, and that floor is like 1.4, and the floor for these are 1.8, but there's only maximum 30k of them, and not all of them have even been claimed. So that would put them at a floor of like 5 Ethereum, 5.5 Ethereum if they were a 10k collection. So kind of make up your own mind whether you think that's worth 5.5 ETH. So do I think their final value is going to be higher than 1.8? It's hard to know, but I do think at some stage there's going to be a bit of a run on these. And the other thing that you have to think about is whether or not you want to just get a tier 4, play the game once and just end up with a floor mecha suit and not really have it leveled up too much, or if you want to buy like a tier 4 sewer pass and buy a lot of boosters and try to get a really high score and end up with a high mecha suit. I'd say it's either one of those two options rather than try and get somewhere in the middle. I think there's probably more value in just getting the floor where it's more liquid, or getting a really high score and getting into the top 1000 if you're actually like a good gamer. Or if you just want to have some fun, obviously get a tier 4. You can buy a booster or two if you want and try to get a good score if you actually want to enjoy and participate in the ecosystem a bit. That's probably what I'm kind of doing personally. But let me know what you think of my speculations, if you think I'm right or wrong, and if you think sewer passes are overvalued or undervalued. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the watchers. Smash the like if you want, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.